Hello, television family. We are back on this Tuesday, 26th day of July, 2022. I am Dan Kuntz. 1 week from primary election day. Get your ballot in if you're a registered voter, as they used to say in Chicago. Vote early and vote often. I'm kidding. Don't do that. Good stuff for you today. Hot. Hit 100 degrees yesterday. Almost set a record. The record high for Monday was 102, so we nudged up against it, but didn't quite get there. We're going to be at 102 or 103 today. Our record high on this date is 106. Not going to get there, but it's a possibility tomorrow. That hot forecast continues. The excessive heat warning goes through the rest of the week. And it's supposed to be in the triple digits on Saturday, but they only have it going through Friday. I think they're going to extend that as well. There is no relief from this hot weather for the foreseeable future. I hope you have air conditioning or have access to something cool. We'll get on some of the do's and don'ts when it comes to getting out in the heat when we get to the news in just a little bit. But get ready for some really, it happened yesterday. It's just all week long, just cooking, and probably into next week too. Again, complete forecast details are coming up. We got some news stories to get to as well. Sports, Mariners won, kind of close. Texas gave them a run towards the end of the game, but the Mariners pulled out a nice little 4-3 victory. No Apple Sox results. They didn't play. And camp begins today at the VMAC in Renton. The Seahawks will be strapping on the helmets and the pads and running into each other until they have a chance to run into people who aren't their own teammates. It is Seahawk training camp. And tomorrow, even though it's going to be hot on Wednesday afternoon, it's still on. The Wenatchee Downtown Association hosting their Possibilities Tour. It's a chance for you to walk over downtown Wenatchee and take a look at some of the buildings. Historic. They're all historic. Some of these buildings have been remodeled, renovated. They're up for lease, up for sale, up for rent. And it's all about ideas. What would you like to see in this building here? What would you like to see in that space there? The Downtown Possibilities Tour is tomorrow, hosted by the WDA and the Port of Chelan and Douglas Counties, the Regional Port Authority. And we'll have Linda Haglund to talk about that in the back half of the program. 26 minutes after the hour, 72 degrees. Here we go. Let's see what we got. What we got is sunshine, and a lot of it as we look out over the Wenatchee Valley from the Wenatchee Heights camera. Days are getting shorter. We're losing about 90 seconds of daylight a day, and it's starting to get fairly noticeable now. Beautiful view of the valley. Good morning. That's a 4K camera. Cost us $4,000. I think that's what that means. Now, from this point forward, I don't know. Mr. Darby gets to decide, and I get to tell you what I think it is. Camera 2 is that monitor camera? That's the monitor camera. Looking at monitor. As a matter of fact, the orchards are doing their job. Cherries are about done. They were getting into the peaches. And the best part, pluots are out there. My favorite, the pluot, is in stores everywhere. I love pluots almost as much as Cal Fitzsimmons loves pears. But the pluots are out there. Go to your local fruit stand and scarf them down. I love them. Good morning to monitor and a little sliver of cashmere at the top of your screen. Camera 3. Lake Chelan chimes in. Wapato Point jumps right at you. I got to say that's the Bear Mountain camera, Uriah. That's the Upper Butte camera. That shows you what I know. Way at the top of the Chelan Butte where the paragliders launch themselves off, about 4,000 feet above sea level. Good morning to Lake Chelan. That place is enticing when we get to 102 degrees. And camera number 4. Waterville says hello. Good morning to Waterville. It's out there somewhere. Is that the Waterville camera? That is okay. Yep. Thank you very much. Good morning to Waterville and the plains above the high part of Douglas County. It is good to see you. It's always a little bit cooler in Waterville. That's the case when you're at 4,000 feet above sea level. I'm going to show you this little loop video that shows you what exactly is going on here. Take a look. That high pressure ridge, which was over the Gulf of Alaska, has begun the process of shifting to the south and to the east. You can see Washington State on the far right-hand side of your screen, and it's just going to keep maneuvering down and settling right over us, which is why we are going to be sunny and hot for a very long time. This photo was taken, this computer graphic was taken just about 24 hours ago. Since it was taken, that big red blotch that you see has worked its way farther south and farther east, and it is going to be parked right over the top of the western United States. Look how big that thing is. That's huge. It's the size of British Columbia, and it's coming our way. In fact, it's here already. And as a friendly reminder, and I don't want to gild the obvious lily, but don't be stupid. Look for the signs of heat exhaustion. Look for the signs of heat stroke. It can come on very, very quickly. Just wear light cotton clothing. Don't go out in the sun if you don't have to. Find shade if you are. If you start feeling all the symptoms for either heat exhaustion, which is serious, or heat stroke, which is very serious, and it can come on very quickly, just use a little common sense. Again, I don't want to gild the obvious lily, but it doesn't take a lot of exposure to this unbearable heat to knock you upside the head. So, with that out of the way, from the National Weather Service, 103 our high temperature today. Now, we're already at 72, which is pretty much where we were yesterday. When I got up this morning at 3:30, it was 78. This is the coolest part of the day, right after sunrise until about 7:30, and then we start the warming process. 103 today, our record high is 106. Not going to get there, but plenty warm for most people. Look how mild the overnight low is going to be, 76. Then 105 on Wednesday, close to the record high, also 106. Going to be close to it. Thursday, the record high on Thursday is 106. And we're forecast to hit 107 and then 108 on Friday. And then we cool down to a much more pleasant 106 on Saturday. Still triple digits on Sunday. Still very hot on Monday. And the long-term forecast from the Climate Prediction Center says right on into August, the first week of August, will be sunny and hot for everybody, just not brutally, unbearably hot, just regular hot. But there you go, 103, 105, 107, 108, 106, 100. And again, the excessive heat warning, which started yesterday, goes right through the rest of the week. And they're going to extend it. I can guarantee you they're going to extend that into Saturday and probably Sunday. So that is your weather forecast. It's 7 minutes after the hour, a 1 minute break, and then your Tuesday morning headline. You're watching Wake Up on Nancy Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Transform your windows with a variety of colors and styles like the Allure Transitional Window Covering by Lafayette Interior Fashions. Hi, this is Darren with Mini Blinds and More. We can install the latest and greatest in technology to open and close your blinds with only a touch of a button. From the largest windows in your home to room darkening shades for the bedroom. From stylish shades for your entertainment room to custom blinds for those hard-to-fit places. We have a solution for all of your window covering needs. We offer a variety of window coverings from Lafayette Interior Fashions. Call us today. We are Mini Blinds and More, your local blind store.
Sunshine, 72 degrees. Ephrata, by the way, if you're watching out there in the basin, I know there's folks out there who are. Ephrata's already at 82 degrees. Whew. Triple digits today, near record-breaking high temperatures on Wednesday. We're going to break some records, it looks like, on Thursday and Friday before we gradually cool down, but not much. By the weekend, 8 minutes after the hour, a Wenatchee man was seriously injured in a motorcycle crash. This happened last night on Highway 97A, about 4 miles north of Antioch. This is according to the Washington State Patrol. 43-year-old Alan L. Moody. He was traveling southbound on the highway at a high rate of speed just before 9 o'clock last night when he lost control while attempting to negotiate that turn there. The motorcycle he was riding, a 2004 Yamaha XVZ, went airborne and ejected Moody. Both Moody and the motorcycle came to rest on the embankment. Moody was transported to Central Washington Hospital with undisclosed injuries. A Moses Lake woman died on Sunday afternoon in an irrigation canal while trying to save the life of the family dog. This happened near Royal City. The Grand County Sheriff's Office said 46-year-old Brigetta Delgado did not resurface after she went into the water at about 12:45 in the afternoon on Sunday. She reportedly became trapped by the turbulence in a plunge pool. Royal Slope Fire and Rescue, Grant County deputies and medical personnel responded to the drowning near Dotson Road Southwest, near Road 12 Southwest. This is about 3 miles east of Royal City. The Grant County coroner is performing an autopsy. The sheriff's office said the dog also drowned in that accident. A power pole caught fire Monday morning just south of Ephrata. Not only did it knock out power for some residences, it also started a fire. Grand County PUD said a bird's nest caught on fire. That spread to the ground, then the pole. While the PUD was looking for the cause of the outage, firefighters from Ephrata responded at about 8:30 in the morning to the pole fire. This was in the 9000 block of Dotson Road. Once it was confirmed the line was not energized, Grant County Fire District 13 crews then got out the grass fire and they cooled the pole for the PUD crews to get the power back on. Power was restored after a short period of time for most of those Grant County customers. NCW Libraries is going to be using its branches as emergency cooling centers. Just in the nick of time because of this heat wave. The board for the library system, which has buildings in towns throughout our region, approved the use of its facilities for cooling shelters last week. It will be available during business hours only. Veronica Ferris with the Chelan Douglas Health District said the district's regional emergency response team is working with the Red Cross and Chelan County Emergency Management to determine the capacity for another public cooling shelter, and we expect to have word on that soon. Again, if you can get in the air conditioning, do it. Yeah, it's going to be hot tomorrow afternoon, but heat or no heat, the Wenatchee Downtown Association is still planning to put on their Downtown Possibilities Tour. Starts at 3 o'clock. I had a chance to sit down with Downtown Association Executive Director Linda Haglund, and she talked about some of the properties that you can look at tomorrow afternoon.
When Nick McLean vacated the Halbert building that was at one time People's Bank, they have done some incredible renovation there. So we're going to see that and an available space there. And then we're going to walk north. Well, we're first going to cross the street and go into Epoch. If you were on the tour last year, you met Andy and saw his dream. It was a lot of work needed to be done a year ago. So I think it would be really fun to pop in and see it a year later, right? How far he's come. His business is open now, and how that vision turned into something amazing. Then we're going to pop down to Tyler and Beth Dew's building. They're right there by Designer Floors, not far from Mela. And we're going to get a sneak peek of that one. That's in renovation. We aren't going to get to go next door. Al Rickert's building that is also under renovation is not to a point where we can safely go in there, but it will be listed coming up because there'll be space this year coming up in that building. Then we're going to pop up and see the newly sold Wenatchee World building. That building has had a lot of change. There's available spaces in there. Then we're going to head down to the Columbia Savings and Loan building that's owned by Todd Keys. He has a great space in there. If it works out, we might be able to get into the Chase Bank building. We're not sure about that. But then we're going to head up, and there's two significant buildings for sale right now. And one of them is not quite there for sale, but it's going to be. But the city is allowing us to go into the historic police station and the historic fire station. And those buildings will be for sale, and people will get a chance to see those great old buildings, right? And then we're going to end the tour at the new City Hall. It's not done, obviously, the renovation, but we're going to have some beverages and light snacks there because it'll be getting close to the dinner and your stomach will be growling.
Again, that is tomorrow beginning at 3 o'clock, and yes, there will be water stations, and my complete conversation with Linda will air in the back half of this very program. And for the first time in a couple of years, you can fish for sockeye salmon on Lake Wenatchee. Go get 'em, anglers. The Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife announcing that the fishery will begin tomorrow at daylight, with anglers being able to catch and keep 4 sockeye salmon per day. According to Chad Jackson, he's the department's North Central Fish Program Manager, the escapement goal of 23,000 sockeye getting over Tubwater Dam on the Wenatchee River to the lake has been met, and that means thousands of fish are hanging around Lake Wenatchee ready for you to get caught. Now, lure restrictions apply with 3 single barbless hooks per line. You can't use bait. You can't use scent. Anglers have to use a knotless net, and if you catch any bull trout, steelhead, or Chinook salmon, you got to throw them back. This is just for the sockeyes. Fish and Wildlife also says the Wenatchee River will open for both sockeye and Chinook salmon starting Monday, with up to 4 sockeye and 2 adult hatchery Chinook available for the 6-fish daily limit. Keep your tip up and have fun. And that's what's making news at quarter after the hour. The news will come your way at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock tonight. Also available on our Facebook page and on our homepage at ncwlife.com with the preview, the anchor, Grant Olson.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, our temperatures will continue to soar with no relief in sight. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. And in sports, Eric Granstrom has all the latest on the Mariners and the Apple Sox. That and all the day's news stories coming your way tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Dan?
Thank you, Grant. Don't forget, you're not locked into 5, 6, and 10 on television, or as we like to say, TV. You can watch it on our Facebook page and on our homepage. We have it up and running at 5 o'clock each night, so you can watch the news at any time that's convenient for you. But you can reach out to us anytime you want, with the exception of our phone number. We do have regular office hours. But if you want to drop us a note, you can email us directly at the address that you see at the bottom of your screen. You can go to our Facebook page and use the Messenger app, or go to our homepage at ncwlife.com. Mariners snap their 3-game losing streak. Highlights from their victory over Texas. Plus, we'll preview the Apple Sox, and it's time to play football. Well, not really, but the Seahawks report to camp. Sports is 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley Tuesday edition on the NCW Life channel. Crystal's Restaurant and Lounge in Leavenworth has a warm environment to enhance your dining experience. Serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Crystal's Intimate Lounge is a wonderful place to relax and dine with beautiful views of the mountains. Do you have a special occasion coming up? Call Crystal's to reserve their event space. Whether your event is grand, intimate, or casual, Crystal's provides unforgettable food and superb service. Crystal's Restaurant and Lounge, proud to be serving fabulous food and drinks.
The Clearwater Saloon and Casino has the best Vegas-style games in East Wenatchee. Come enjoy yourself and discover the nightly action. Win big and meet new friends at the Clearwater Saloon and Casino.
"17 minutes after the hour, Mariners win. Back in the winning column. Thank you very much. 4-3 the final. Mariners over the Rangers at T-Mobile Park. Ty France looked like the all-star he is. He was a one-man wrecking crew. Went 3 for 3. Had a solo home run. Chris Flexen earning his 7th win. He was 6 innings on the mound. Seattle's 3-game losing streak done.
He's not going to let too many go by.
Oh, that one in the dirt. Bounces away. Duran heads in from third. And the Rangers get that first run of the night. A wild pitch from Flexen. And it's 1-0.
There you go, base hit. Tie ball game. Cal with a base hit. Scoring on a play is Ty France. Good day for Cal, 2 for 2. Picks up an RBI here, his 35th. That's how you come out of an 0 for 9 with a 2 for 2 in your first 2 at-bats. And Suarez going to try to score, and he will. Everybody else moves up, throw to second, not in time. Mariners have a 2-1 lead.
Both teams scoring a run now on a wild pitch. You can see that this is going to get away from Heim. Gino over at third base hesitated a little bit, wasn't sure, and then you can see the catcher going back trying to make the play, and Otto not able to glove it. Gino waited a second, decided I'm going to go for it with 2 outs. Turns out to be a really nice play.
2 out, nobody on. Infield straight up. Center field, hit well. Going back, goodbye! Ty France, dead central with a home run. A 3 for 3 night for Ty's 13th home run. RBI number 51, and the Mariners have a 3-1 lead over Texas. The All-Star blast one right into the batter's eye.
In a 3-game series. And Adolis Garcia goes after the first pitch, hammers it down into the corner. It is gone! Just fair and just over the wall. A solo shot for Garcia. And he makes it a 1-run game.
And the hit streak stays alive here for Garcia, and the power that we have seen now in the second half. We're just 5 games into the second half of the season, or at least post All-Star break.
1 out, bases loaded. Giving ground Duran. They get the runner there. They don't get the runner at first. Run scores Haggerty. They get 4-2 Mariners. Ty Francis retired for out number 2.
Give Santana an RBI.
You betcha. And Carlos' 31st run batted in.
Duran, the third baseman, gives a little bit of ground, and Santana hustling the whole way. He wants to beat this out, make sure that run scores. Even a double clutch by Duran ended up proving to be the difference, but nice hustle the entire way. This ball is hit. He's taking off right away, trying to beat this out. You betcha.
That is a professional right there. That's why he is loved in that clubhouse.
3-1 pitch, and this ball hit well deep out to right field. Haggerty is back. It is gone! A home run. Nathaniel Lowe with his 14th bomb of the year, and he makes it a one-run game.
Swanee trying to put this in the win column for the Mariners. Tough hombre here, and Marcus Semien. Ground ball, this should do it. Toro over to first. There's your ball game, and the Mariners win it 4-3 to end a 3-game losing streak.
His flexion was really good in this when the bullpen did their thing, and just enough offense.
Boy, I'll say Chris Flexing wins his 5th consecutive decision. He goes to 7 and 8. Good time for the Mariners tonight, you betcha!
It was a bit of a nerve-wracking ninth inning. As you saw that, Diego Castillo struggled, but Eric Swanson came in and closed the deal. After the game was over, Mariner manager Scott Service said, that's what this bullpen does. They pick it up when they need to.
Really, I thought it was probably the sharpest he's been. But the biggest thing, more than his stuff, was the fact that I thought he commanded the strike zone better. He was ahead in more counts, keeping the pitch count in check. So he had plenty to go there, and really effective outing for him. Last time out before the break, obviously he was pitching on 3 days rest, but it was a little bit shorter, and he struggled a little bit. So getting a few extra days off certainly helped him, and nice job by him. And bullpen again, obviously Diego struggled a little bit there in the ninth, but that's what that group's about down there. They pick each other up, and we saw it in prime fashion today with Swanee coming in, getting a couple of huge outs to end the game. Offensively, Ty France, he's back in the groove. Great to see. Jumping on pitches up in the zone, and then a big home run, kind of add-on runs there. So we played these type of games against Texas. It seems like the last few years. They're really close. They could go either way. We've been able to execute late in games. And like I said, getting back in the win column is a nice feeling for everybody here, and we've got to keep it rolling.
Mariners and Rangers will do battle again tonight. 7:10 first pitch. Root Sports Northwest, George Kirby will toe the rubber for the M's. All right, to the Les Schwab scoreboard from the division. Kansas City feasted on the Angels bullpen. 7-0 the final there. The Royals broke a scoreless tie in the 6th. They chased starter Noah Syndergaard. Then they scored 6 more off relievers. Tony Kemp had a home run and a double, drove in 3 runs. We like this. Oakland beating Houston. Keep it up, Oakland. 7-5 the final. So Seattle edges within 12 games of the Astros in the West after yesterday's games. The wild card is probably more realistic. The Mariners gaining a little ground there on Tampa Bay and Toronto. Baltimore knocking off the Rays 5-1. The Orioles are back to 500. The Blue Jays were idle. The Red Sox edged the Guardians in Boston 3-1 to stay within 3 games of Seattle. Closer to home, the Apple Sox will battle the Heat and the Bears tonight. West Coast League Baseball, Callis comes to town to take on the Apple Sox, the first of 3 games, Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. The Black Bears are 6-9 in the second half of the season. They rank near the bottom of the South Division. The Apple Sox lead Bellingham by 1 game. In the second half of the North Division, they're currently tied with Kamloops for the second-best overall record behind Bellingham. First pitch, 6:35. You can hear the action with Joel Norman on Sunny FM. Bring your sunscreen. There were some non-league games played across the West Coast League last night. The Raptors beat Redmond 11-7. And in a non-league game, Ethan Lovelace and Tanner Smith each homered in a 7-run second inning for Corvallis. The Knights beat the Northwest Star Academy 15-4. Your schedule, everybody plays. Kamloops and Edmonton get things started at 6:05 in the Gateway to the north. The 6:35 games, besides Wenatchee and Cowlitz. Bend is at Ridgefield. Corvallis hosts Springfield. Port Angeles will visit Kelowna. Nanaimo welcomes Bellingham. Yakima Valley has a non-leaguer against the Northwest Star Academy. And the Northwest Hawkers are in Victoria. Portland will host Walla Walla at 7:05. Let's go camping. Lots of intriguing storylines. Who's going to be the starting quarterback, Geno Smith or Drew Lock? We don't know yet. Also worth watching, the development of the offensive line. And rookie left tackle Charles Cross, right tackle Abe Lucas. Also, they're looking to figure out, well, they don't have DJ Reed anymore. Of course, he signed with the Jets, so who's going to be taking over DJ's spot. We don't know yet. Players report to camp today. They'll be on the field tomorrow. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. At 25 minutes after the hour, 4 obscure holidays on my checklist. National Bagel Fest Day, National Coffee Milkshake Day, National All or Nothing Day. And since you can't have it all, you're getting nothing. But no, we're going to go with National Uncle and Aunt Day, or Aunt and Uncle Day. Probably Aunt and Uncle would be better. I am an uncle many, many, many times. I have 18 nieces and nephews. I have 14 grandnieces and nephews. What happened there? And of course, I'm the cool uncle, as all the kids will tell you. Our family reunion is next week, and I'm sure they'll be saying I'm the cool uncle. And you do cool things. You babysit. You got to fill in every now and again. Being an uncle and an aunt's a cool thing, especially if you're the cool one, right? Happy if you're an aunt or an uncle, this day is for you. And if you're not, tell your brothers and sisters, get busy. Happy National Aunt and Uncle Day. I like being an uncle. It's a cool gig. I'll see all of my nieces and nephews next week. Be in your best behavior. 26 minutes after the hour. Today in history, we always do states when they join the Union, so we want to wish the Empire State a happy 234th birthday. New York ratified the Constitution, became the 11th state of this Union, one of the original 13 colonies. How did it get its nickname, the Empire State? George Washington. He wasn't really talking about New York State. He was talking about New York City when he said New York City is the seat of the empire, which is why it was so critically important to get New York City during the Revolutionary War. Of course, we didn't. The British got it, but that's another story altogether. New York was the only colony that did not vote for independence, but they also didn't vote no. They abstained because the delegates, when they were sent to the convention, were not authorized to vote one way or the other. So they didn't vote at all. 44% of the population of New York State lives in New York City. In fact, 25% of the population of the entire state of New York lives in either Brooklyn or Queens. That's pretty darn impressive. And New York is the only state that borders both the Atlantic Ocean and the Great Lakes, which is why it was such a critical part of this country in its early history. Happy 234th birthday to the Empire State. What does the Central Intelligence Agency, the United States Department of Defense, the National Security Council, the Air Force, and the Joint Chiefs of Staff, they all have one thing in common. They all share the same birthday, and it's today, July 26, 1947, 75 years ago today. President Truman signed into law the National Security Act of 1947, and in one fell swoop, we have the Department of Defense, instead of the individual departments from the individual military establishments, just one United States Department of Defense with one Joint Chiefs of Staff and a Central Intelligence Agency and a National Security Agency, and the Air Force was spun off from the Army. That's a lot to do. Wonder how many pens he used 75 years ago today. 74 years ago today, Executive Order 9981 was signed into law by President Truman. Desegregation in the armed forces. Roosevelt tried, but he needed the Southern Democrats to stay with him to vote for the bills that he needed to fight the war. But once the war was over, he didn't have to worry about that anymore. And Harry Truman, as the commander-in-chief, in one fell swoop said, segregation in the armed forces is out starting today. This did not go over well in some quarters of the country 74 years ago today. And finally, 52 years ago today, July the 26th, 1970, at the late lamented Six Stadium in the Rainier Valley in Seattle, Jimi Hendrix, James Marshall Hendrix, plays his last concert in his hometown of Seattle in the rain. He played. He would die in September. In fact, this is Jimi Hendrix's last concert ever in the United States. 52 years ago today. Let's do birthdays right at the bottom of the hour. Vivian Vance will always be known as Ethel Mertz on I Love Lucy. She was born in the state in 1909. Very close friends with Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz. But she hated William Frawley, and William Frawley hated her. One of those great backstories in Hollywood. Of course, she was Ethel Mertz. Her husband on television was Fred Mertz. They were the landlords of the apartment building. Vivian Vance and William Frawley couldn't stand one another, just despised one another. They would look at the scripts and say, how come she has more lines than I do? Now, on screen, they had great comedic timing, great chemistry. Off screen, they despised one another. For one thing, William Frawley was 22 years older than Vivian Vance, and Vivian Vance did not like to play the wife of a guy who was 22 years older than she was. Anyway, happy Vivian Vance would be 113 today. She died in 1979. Francis Ford Coppola is my favorite director. A close second's got to be Stanley Kubrick. I just love this work. We miss Stanley Kubrick. I wish he was still alive. Spartacus, Lolita, Dr. Strangelove, 2001: A Space Odyssey, The Shining, Full Metal Jacket. He never made a bad movie. He never even made a mediocre movie. Stanley Kubrick, born in the state in 1928. We lost Stanley a number of years ago at the age of 70, but the movies are good. Darlene Love, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, class of 2011, one of the greatest singers ever, period, regardless of gender. She's in the top 6. She's up there with Aretha and with Sinatra and with Elvis. Darlene Love, 81 years old today. Mick Jagger, 79 years old today. Somebody needs to tell him. And finally, happy 66th birthday to America's sweetheart, Dorothy Hamill, gold medalist, 1976 Innsbruck Winter Games. I had a crush on her when I was a kid. 32 minutes after the hour, Mike Magnotti has an opinion about what? I don't know. I didn't even put it in the system until this morning. I forgot. And then we're going to visit with Linda Haglund, in case you missed the interview. Tomorrow is the Downtown Possibilities Tour. If you've been driving or walking through downtown and you're looking at buildings and you're always curious about what's on the other side of the facade, your chances tomorrow. Linda will talk about that when we come back. You're watching Wake Up in Anchi Valley on the NCW Life channel.
With all the variety on SureStream TV from Localtel, there's always something to watch. But what if you hit the couch in the middle of all the shows? That's a perfect time to use the features Catch Up or Restart. Catch up on shows from up to 3 days ago, or restart your show from the beginning. Go to your guide and select the show to restart. Then play, pause, rewind on your schedule. Don't forget, SureStream TV from Localtel lets you decide when shows begin.
I'm here at Boswell's Home Furnishings to announce one of their newest lines of furniture, Builtwell, an amazing local furniture maker in Oregon.
Hi, can I help you?
I was just telling my friends.
About Builtwell? They have exquisite craftsmanship, superior construction. I love their designs. Builtwell is a great addition to the wide selection of quality furniture you'll find here at Boswell's.
Boswell's Furniture on Easy Street. It's closer than you think.
It has really been a great partnership between Succession and NCW Life. It's not always easy to sit in front of a camera or a microphone, but you guys have made it a really nice process.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, a good pal of mine who was raised in the Catholic Church recently said that he feels that the Roman Catholic Church is little better than a criminal organization which, due to past abuses, and specifically due to the way sexually abusive priests have been protected and their crimes covered up, that organization should be disbanded and eliminated. Well, I see his point and appreciate that he does speak as a member of that particular club, so to speak. There are many people for whom the Catholic Church is still their earthly means of connecting with God. And every church, big or small, has its problems. Now, of course they do. We humans run them. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills in Manson, where we've got huge news. We've started our Blueberry U-Pick. It's a great time to toss the family in the car and get on out to Blueberry Hills, where you can get the best down-home scratch country cooking around and pick some of the world's most delicious and largest blueberries that have been high desert farmed. This makes for an intense blueberry flavor, and they are so much fun to pick. Our fields are open 8 to 2:30 daily and restaurant from 8 to 3. So come on out and join us.
The new Hummer EV is everything you want in an all-electric vehicle. It's powerful, reliable, comfortable, and will take you anywhere you want to go, on-road or off. Why buy one of those lesser EVs when you can have one that uses them for traction? Order your Hummer pickup or SUV today from Sangster Motors, batteries included.
As AmeriCorps members and volunteers, we do more than talk about our core values. We take action and commit to making our community stronger.
At AmeriCorps, my commitment to equity gives every student a strong start.
Our compassion brings food and friendship to neighbors in need.
My determination protects parks in my community.
Now more than ever, your community needs you. What's at your core? Learn more at AmeriCorps.gov.
Had a surgery? Been in a car accident? Suffer from weekend warrior activities? Let Mount Stewart Physical Therapy and Chiropractic work out your aches and pains. This is Dr. Wayne Latimer. We've extended our multi-care practice to Mount Stewart Physical Therapy in Leavenworth. So, physical therapy and chiropractic. And whether you want to lift to get fit or you want to stay fit after your physical therapy, Balance Point Health and Fitness Gym is always open daily. Dr. Latimer Chiropractic Multi-Care Clinics, where we strive to do more, so you can too.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you're calling on 35 plus years of experience in the Wenatchee Valley. Spending extra time in your home, you may have discovered an unwanted aroma. Stinky feet, pets, who knows what. Call Dick's today about installing their Train Clean Effects electronic air cleaner or a Rheem Halo ultraviolet air purifier. Either way, the air quality in your home will be improved. Proudly servicing all of North Central Washington, call 884-6444 today.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. What are you doing a week from Wednesday on the 27th day of July? May I respectfully suggest that you get an inside, behind-the-scenes, what's behind that wall kind of tour. It's back again, the Downtown Possibilities Tour, semi-annual. And it's going to happen again on the 27th day of this month. And to talk about that and other cool downtown stuff, one of our favorite people, it's Linda Haglund, the Executive Director of the WDA. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
It's good to be back. It feels kind of like summer, doesn't it?
Speaking of back, downtown's got that vibe again. You know, we talked about it's going to take a little while to get things going again post-COVID, but I'm feeling it when I'm downtown.
I know, me too. It feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Good, really good First Friday effort. And you know what also helps is that the City of Wenatchee Parks and Rec Music in the Park and Centennial Park is back on those Friday nights. That all helps with that summertime feel downtown. It feels good, doesn't it?
What's the word scooter-wise? You know, I talked to Captain Reinfeldt. Said they're gonna, you know, they're keeping an eye on things. You're not supposed to ride scooters on the sidewalks.
I know. They're working on that.
Is it? What do you hear from your constituents from the folks downtown on the scooter deal?
Well,
don't want to get into controversy, but
no.
I got to ask you. You're here,
right?
So.
Because I'm here, right? Well, I'll tell you the first thing that I will say about the scooters is that we have this little effort called 1 Million Cups in Wenatchee. Us and the Chamber really partner with Stacy Lukensmeyer, that was at Wenatchee Valley College, with the Center for Entrepreneurship. And once a month, it is an entrepreneur's chance to talk about their business, 0 to 5 years. So we had an opening at 1 Million Cups, and one of the fleet managers for Bird Scooter was there, Tony. Good guy. And I was able to introduce Tony to them and put a local face on Bird Scooters. I don't know that people necessarily know that. There are the fleet managers that, too, they're independent business owners. And Tony takes this really serious.
They're the ones who drive around in their trucks, pick up the scooters, clean them, make sure they're charged.
They do, and fix them. So I talked to him, we had, 19 or 20 dead birds, right, behind the convention center. And I talked to him about that. He's trying to fix those. Those are his inventory. And he felt really bad about that. Some of them are not repairable. But I asked him anecdotally what is going on with bird scooters, and he said the majority of rentals they see, a lot of them are in the evening, typically later in the evening. So he will go collect his birds, charge his birds, and then he'll reset them out, and they're gone within minutes of setting them out. So it's been a really popular thing. People tell me all the time, our family didn't have much to do, so my wife and I got on a bird, the kids rode their bikes. It's been community, I think, accepted. Now, as far as downtown, there will be business owners that say they see a lot of them. I have not. There's 2 parked out in front of my office this morning, but they're parked there to be picked up and taken. So we're seeing a lot of people use them. If they are geofenced, meaning there's certain areas they can't go. And if you go beyond the areas they can, they slow down to nothing and chirp obnoxiously. They're typical birds, right? So what we're hearing on the sidewalk is that we couldn't exclude the sidewalk yet, because that technology is not here. So to keep them off the sidewalk, we would have had to geofence all of downtown out. And nobody,
then at that point, what's the point?
What's the point, right? So what we're hoping is people will be respective. This goes hand in hand with a grant we got with the City of Wenatchee Police Department on Walk Your Wheels downtown. So it's really a mindfulness. Don't ride your bike. Don't ride your skateboard. Don't ride your scooter on the streets. Be respectful of that, because, like you said, with all that vibe and activity, we don't want people hurt on the sidewalks.
I see a lot of scooters on the trail, on the Apple Capitol Loop Trail. That seems to be very popular.
It is, and that tends to be a challenge for the fleet managers, because you can't drive on the loop trail. So he's got to find his bird and collect his bird. It's really interesting to talk to him. But I just really would like the community to know that there's there's 2 local people behind this company that are their fleet managers here, and they're working really hard to do this right. So we need to help them by following the rules, and don't run over a bird scooter, okay? Because he's got to try to fix those 20 birds.
The Chelan-Douglas Regional Port Authority is being the lead agency on the soon-to-be surplus PUD property downtown. They had 5 proposals, narrowed it down to 2. Your thoughts on those?
I get to sit on that committee.
Yeah.
What I like about this process, I was a little bit vocal. That will surprise you, Dan. I was a little bit vocal when the PUD was moving, and my request was, don't do this to us without us. Include us in this process, and they really have. So us in the chamber, along with the city, the port, and the PUD, have been very collaborative. And I like the community process they're doing. They're being thoughtful. And I have met both of the top 2 companies, the leads of those. Both of them want to do something really good for this place. I was at the PUD meeting last week, and I said to the PUD commissioners, I'm impressed that these 2 want to dream with us. There's a lot still to flush out. Everybody knows that. But think about that. They're making a huge investment on the unknown, right? Mm-hmm. It's almost 8 acres in the heart of downtown. It's important we do this right. And the other thing I was really encouraged with is they really want to connect locally. So the Y, Music Theater, they want to talk. They want to work collaboratively. And people get nervous and upset. Change is hard. But I haven't seen anything with the 2 of these that have caused me any concern or worry that they want to do anything but do it right. You've got to give them credit. This is a really hard time to do anything. But those almost 8 acres is going to be a heavy lift. So I was thankful that those proposers of this something new really partnered and want to do something unique in Wenatchee. I'm really excited about it.
And it should be pointed out that, apartment buildings and hotels along the riverfront are going up like crazy. Mm-hmm. These people aren't idiots. These developers are not going to build apartment complexes or high-end hotels without thinking there's clientele to be had. That's a
Exactly.
That's a huge initial investment, and they're doing it. They're in.
And both of them are really eager to connect with the community and see at the end of the day what will be and what could be. And I just want to thank the Regional Port Authority. They're visionaries. That's what they do, economic development. And they have chosen to put a lot of time and energy into doing this right. They also partner with us on the Possibilities Tour because they're about good economic development, not just economic development, but the right economic development. And I just appreciate that collaboration with the port, that they listen, they want to see, for Chelan and Douglas County, they want to see this holistically come together because there's a lot of stuff happening. There's the lineage properties on Columbia Street, there's the PUD, there's all of this development going on the waterfront, and they understand you really need to knit that all together to do something that's going to work in the long term.
Well, let's talk about the Possibilities Tour. Again, it starts at 3 o'clock on Wednesday, the 27th of this month. It starts at the I forgot the name of the building. Midtown. And you're going to be, have you mapped out the route? Do you have a pretty good idea?
I do have a pretty good idea. So we're going to start with the Midtown. You might know it better. Rena Center, La Vienne, and the historic names are Halbert and Russell Plow. It's kind of scary that I know that, right? I know most all the historic names of the buildings that kind of.
Well, my dad's law firm was there, of course. It was the professional center, is what they called it.
So they have, when Nick McLean vacated the Halbert building that was at one time People's Bank, they have done some incredible renovation there. So we're going to see that and an available space there. And then we're going to walk north. Well, we're first going to cross the street and go into Epoch. If you were on the tour last year, you met Andy and saw his dream. It was a lot of work needed to be done a year ago. So I think it would be really fun to pop in and see it a year later, right? How far he's come. His business is open now, and how that vision turned into something amazing. Then we're going to pop down to Tyler and Beth Dew's building. They're right there by Designer Floors, not far from Mela. And we're going to get a sneak peek of that one. That's in renovation. We aren't going to get to go next door. Al Rickert's building that is also under renovation is not to a point where we can safely go in there, but it will be listed coming up because there'll be space this year coming up in that building. Then we're going to pop up and see the newly sold Wenatchee World building. That building has had a lot of change. There's available spaces in there. Then we're going to head down to the Columbia Savings and Loan building that's owned by Todd Keys. He has a great space in there. If it works out, we might be able to get into the Chase Bank building. We're not sure about that. But then we're going to head up, and there's two significant buildings for sale right now. And one of them is not quite there for sale, but it's going to be. But the city is allowing us to go into the historic police station and the historic fire station. And those buildings will be for sale, and people will get a chance to see those great old buildings, right? And then we're going to end the tour at the new City Hall. It's not done, obviously, the renovation, but we're going to have some beverages and light snacks there because it'll be getting close to the dinner and your stomach will be growling. And we're going to give you and let you get a sneak peek of what the city's vision and doing in that building. So thank you to, again, the Regional Port, all of these property owners in the city for letting us sneak peek in there as far as we can get in safely to take a look and see what's coming down the road, that you know what to expect. I think there's going to be great interest in this because people want to see that old jail building and the old police station. I was in it. Does this age me a little bit? My dad was in law enforcement, so I remember what that building looked like when it was really a jail. And obviously, more recently, what the fire station looked like. But they're great historical buildings and a part of who we are here, so it's going to be fun to get into them.
One of the unique things about these old buildings and downtown Wenatchee, it's not such a cosmetic thing. You see the outside, but maybe you don't really know what's on the inside. I'll give you a perfect example. I haven't been into the new Goodfellow Brothers office until just a few weeks ago when I had to drop by. What a beautiful job they've done in that upstairs area.
Isn't that amazing?
Atlas Fair is phenomenal. I mean, it's one thing to see this is the facade, but it's what's behind the facade that really counts. That's what it's really all about.
And because we're the heart of the community and we do hold the history of this community down in downtown, that outside, we're on the historic registry, so that outside does maintain that beautiful old feel of downtown. I have 3 Art Deco buildings downtown. You feel them But those property owners make significant investment knowing you've got to upgrade the inside, and many of them have done an incredibly wonderful job. But you will see boards up downtown, and that means something's happening inside. So Lynn, that owns Iwa Sushi, she purchased that entire building. She's renovating. You see that board go up right there next to the Gilded Lily. And then again, a little further down the street, I get lots of inquiries about what's for lease. So on the back of your possibilities tour guide, there will be additional office spaces that are for lease that won't be on the tour. It'll be a good guide. And then we will also put that on our website so people can look, but we get lots of calls. People want to work downtown.
Yeah, well, you see a lot of downtowns that just they're done. They just ain't happening. You know, everybody's gone out to the suburbs and strip malls and what have you. That's not the case here. That's always a beautiful thing. You don't need to RSVP, right? You just show up at 3 o'clock on the 27th.
That's the beauty of it. I call it a Kick the Tires tour. We're not going to ask you what you're thinking about doing. Nobody's going to quiz you. We're going to give you information on who the leasing agent or who owns that building to contact. We don't talk about square footage price. We don't talk about leases. We just let you get in and kick the tires of that building a little bit and take a look and dream. What are the possibilities? And if you're interested, we give you a path that you can connect to the people who can make those decisions with you.
It is Wednesday the 27th at 3 o'clock in basically the corner of Orondo and Wenatchee Avenue. You can't miss it. Just look for all the people. Once again, thanks to the Chelan Douglas Regional Port Authority for helping you put this on. Which tells me my brother will show up, I'm assuming.
I will, or somebody, right,
Somebody,
Craig,
right.
or Ron. But wear your walking shoes, and we will have cold water along the way. So we're going to walk you around a little bit, but we won't, if it's hot, won't let you be parched. So.
Before we cut you loose, what's the next organized downtown activity that's on our radar?
We're a couple of things, and I'll have to come back because I'm going to tease you a little bit about something new, because you know I always come back from National Conference with a new idea. But what's coming up next, you'll see, is that we will begin, obviously, Sidewalk Sale is that first Friday and Saturday of August, so that will be really fun. A lot of businesses are participating in the Sidewalk Sale, and some of them are going to have music because it's also First Fridays, right? So that's coming up. Obviously, we're getting ready for, we are hosting the State Main Street Conference here on October 19, 20, and 21, and we're inviting all of these communities that do Main Street like we do. There'll be 36 of them, plus ones who want to be Main Streets will be here walking around town for 3 days. Then, of course, we have Trick or Treat the Avenue, and that will happen, this will shock you, on Halloween.
No.
Yes. So then, obviously, we will do our holiday open house and wine walk. And then on the 3rd of December, I have something family, fun, friendly that's coming up that you don't want to miss.
We got to get you back on there, so we don't want to spill all the beans on this.
I know, but it's going to be so fun, and it's going to be a thing that the family can get connected with in downtown. And then after this family fun thing that we're going to do on the 3rd of December, we're going to light our brand new Christmas tree.
Oh, good.
So it'll be really fun that day in downtown. We're just planning to keep this downtown front and center and a place you want to gather and be, and that's what we're all about.
I'll close you with this little story. It doesn't really mean much, but it does to me. About 3 weeks ago, I went to I live close to downtown. I went to a local downtown establishment or restaurant. I'm not going to mention the name of the restaurant. I told Cook's Corner I wouldn't. But after I had dinner at Cook's Corner, phenomenal, the halibut, by the way, I hiked downtown. It was a Friday night. It was a beautiful, a lot of things, a lot of people happened, a lot of people. There was some activity at the PAC. There were all the restaurants were busy. There was that buzz going on. You could feel it. You could feel the vibe.
And this is not our event this weekend, but speaking of that, the Corvette Club is having their car show this weekend. It's not our event, but they're going to be between, Orondo will remain open, but south in front of Davis, in front of Centennial Park, heading south to Kittitas, that'll be the car show. And I heard that maybe Cook's Corner is going to come out with some tables out on the sidewalk. We were able to help them with a grant to help support them. The museum's going to have a bear garden and food truck. It's going to be super fun. So that is the Corvette Club, and the car show is going to be this weekend.
Cool. Linda Haglund joins me once again Wednesday the 27th at 3 o'clock. Thanks for the coffee from our friends at Mela. It will find a home.
Yeah.
Also my tummy. We will be in touch soon?
Yes, because we have new things to tell you about. Thank you
Not a problem.
very much for this opportunity to come talk.
You're watching Wake Up on Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
This is the NCW Live concert calendar. Fridays, it's live music at Alta Cellars in downtown Manson from 4 to 7 p.m. Sunday, it's Succession Winery located between Chelan and Manson with live music from 2 to 5. Chelan Cellars and Sorrento's Restaurante present music on Mondays at 4 p.m. weekly. Check the individual websites for more information. That's the NCW Live concert calendar.
The 2022 Grant County Fair in Moses Lake is bigger and better than ever. Washington's largest egg-based fair features hundreds of animals, amazing food, and the Davis Carnival rides. And if that isn't enough, see supergroup Lone Star and country standout Cameron Marlowe on the Brian Miller stage. Come celebrate a return to normalcy with Stars, Stripes, and Fair Delights at the 2022 Grant County Fair. For tickets and more info, visit grantcountyfairgrounds.com.
For more than 56 years, Crown Furniture and Mattress has been serving North Central Washington with the same principles we were founded on, offering the best quality, great value, incredible comfort, honesty, integrity, and of course, made in the USA. Because so much of our inventory is made in America, it has alleviated a lot of the shortages companies are experiencing nationwide. We are overstocked and ready to deliver. So stop by and see us today or visit us online at www.crownfurnitureandmattress.com.
Let Mary Maid's custom cleaning experts help you clean up your to-do list. Between work, kids, and pets, it's hard to find time to keep up. Let Mary Maids of Wenatchee help. Mary Maid's cleaning experts can help keep your home or business fresh, neat, and exactly how you'd clean it, if you only had the time. Call now for a free estimate, 509-663-1710. Serving Chelan and Douglas counties. Mary Maids, let us help.
And we are back, 75 degrees here in the big city. Another triple digiter heading our way. Other places, Ephrata still checks into the warm spot. 84 in Ephrata, up in Omak here at 81 degrees. Everybody's at least in the 70s. That even includes Stevens Pass at 70 at the summit of US 2. Get ready for that excessive heat. It's going to continue the rest of the week. Forecast details are coming up one more time, but our good friend, Mr. Darby, did it again. He took advantage of our PTZ cameras all over north central Washington and the Wenatchee Valley and got some incredible time-lapse footage this morning of the sun coming up, and it goes something like this. Spectacular stuff indeed. We live in God's country, do we not? But I think we pissed God off because it's going to be hot. Again, the excessive heat warning, which began at 11 o'clock yesterday, all the way through the work week, and I'd be stunned if the National Weather Service didn't extend it on into Saturday. There is some relief in sight, but you're gonna have to pack some patience, folks, from the National Weather Service one more time. These are not typos. These are the forecast highs. Now, for the record, we hit 100 right on the money yesterday at Pangbourne Memorial Airport. That's why they keep track of these things. The record high yesterday was 102. The record high for today is 106. We're not going to be there, but is there really a big difference between 103 and 106? Not that much. Just hot. 76 for the overnight low, very mild. Then close to record high temperature. Wednesday, under bountiful sunshine for everybody, 105, and then 107 and 108. The forecast highs for Thursday and Friday would be record high temperatures for those dates. And then we cool down a little bit on Saturday with a high of 106, 100 on Sunday, 96 on Monday. We mentioned this yesterday. The Climate Prediction Center, those are the folks at the National Weather Service who are in charge of the long-term forecasts. They are saying this dome of high pressure, and it is a dome, which is why it's so oppressively hot, is strong and well entrenched, and it ain't going to go anywhere until probably the 7th or 8th day of August. So it is going to be very hot for a very long period of time. Take it easy if you're outside and use a little common sense. That's it for us. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.